This is the Crookedrivercast, where Rob and Tom try to keep track of all the craziness goes on in this great state of Ohio. This is show 69 for the week of August 10th. 69! Giggity, giggity! And 2026, let's get into the show, baby. Let's go. 69, oh my gosh, why is that so important? I have no idea, but it's pretty important. It's a milestone. If you, it's just a milestone. I mean, 69, man. The numbers, they switch. You can switch them, and it doesn't. In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning this morning. Well, another week's gone by. How's it going?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based on my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
I understand. I've been doing that all week. Actually, his customer asked me a question, well, depending on the customer, but I plead the Fifth. Why is this on back order? I plead the Fifth. Some get it.
You got to do the whole line. On the advice of counsel, I respectfully.
It reminds me of what is that movie? Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Did you ever see that movie?
I never saw that. Oh, that is a good movie, right?
But that was the line in the whole thing because he goes to Vegas with his lawyer, and as your lawyer, I advise you to take this, and you just hand him a whole pile of drugs. And then when he turned around, where's the rest of it? He goes, what do you mean the rest of it? He took a half sheet of acid.
Nice.
While driving to Vegas.
The next 12 hours are gone.
Yes. He's like, you weren't supposed to eat the whole thing. Oh, well, I did. That was good. That was funny. I love that movie. But anyway, before we really get into the show, I think I would like to bring this up because I'm being scammed, Tom.
Scammed?
Scammed. A scam is currently currently trying to scam me. It's currently in process.
Well, to be truthful and to be honest, we're all being scammed.
Well, yes, but no, I'm actually being targeted. Maybe target is a little strong, but so I think my wife comes up to me the other day and says, "Did somebody pay you for something?" And I was like, "Can you be more specific?" Yes, there's like $225 deposited from Zelle in our savings account, and I was like, "What? No, nobody's like, I don't know. Nobody's just sending me Zelle from Zelle."
What's Zelle?
Zelle is like Apple Pay.
Oh, okay. I never heard of that.
And I was like, no, because I did send somebody. I don't have an account, but I found out a few months ago that my bank, you could do it through your bank app. You don't have to actually sign up for a Zelle account and all that stuff. So I did send somebody that way. So that's why I was kind of like, that's what's going on? So I go on, and there's $225 deposited by this person named Linda. So your sister looks up starts Googling stuff. She goes, "Oh yeah." She goes, "Yeah, this is a scam going on." I was like, "Really?" I go, "What's the scam?" They send me $225. I go, "What's the scam?"
Well, if you want 15 million, you got to send us 5,000.
Not quite.
What is it?
Yeah, here's so what happens is she starts laying out what's about to happen. I was like, "Oh." She goes, "What's going to happen is, according to the internet, you're gonna start getting contacted by a person saying, well, I accidentally."
Yeah, I've heard of this. Yeah.
So a couple of days later, I get a text, "Robert, my name is Linda. I Zelled you $225 on Friday, July 20th. And as indicated in the memo section, this is where they get you, which they try to get you, but they got the wrong person here. The funds pay the monthly expenses of my 93-year-old mother."
Right.
Because her expenses are $225, I'm sure. "Please return the $212 to me via Zelle as soon as possible. Thank you."
Yeah, and then when you return it, then they cancel the payment.
Then Zelle rejects the payment. Yep.
Yeah, and then you're out.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard about this. Was it on No Agenda, or did I hear it somewhere else?
I don't know. I was wondering at one point, did we talk about it on the show? But I'm not sure.
No, not this one. This is newer. I just heard about it a couple of weeks ago, and I think they were using a different app, like a Venmo or one that I've actually heard of. I don't think I've ever heard of.
It is still in my account as of right now. As the recording of the show is still in my account. I've gotten a voicemail.
Oh, really?
And that was what a voicemail. So what I wanted to do was see, and I should have pulled it. I'm very sorry I didn't. But here's the voicemail. Where'd it go? Yes. Well, screw it. It has the last name in it, but I don't really care. So let's see if you can hear some of this. See, the question I have is this AI or is this real? Here you go.
Yes, hello. My name is Linda Forte, and I accidentally sent a Zelle to you for lawn care services. I missed a digit for my elderly 93-year-old mother, and I'm elderly myself. But I am calling to ask you to send back the $225 that you would have received on July the 31st. So could you call me back at 313-919-1331? I'd appreciate it. I'd rather just have you do that. Otherwise, we'll have to, go through the bank, and that's a little bit longer time frame.
Oh.
Again, Linda Forte, 313-919.
Yeah.
So, I think that's real.
I think it might be real too.
There's too many ums and
it's too it's not polished enough.
I think somebody's sitting there and doing the scam.
So here's the bottom line.
They probably get a bunch of people to do it, right?
Yeah, but how you get some old lady to do it?
She might not be that old.
Might not be. You're right. Or might be. You could be a voice disguising your voice with the computer.
Maybe. I don't know. Like I mean, yeah, she sounded older, but I don't know. She could be like a rough 30.
Yeah, that's true. Be a rough 30. Smoking bartender. I guess here's the way I look at it. It's a win-win for me. Either the money gets taken out of my account, which is whatever, no loss, I guess, for me, or it stays in there and I get $225 because sorry, I'm not giving it back to you. I don't care how much of the violins you play of the saddest freaking song. Sorry, I'm sorry. You're not.
She text her back, hey, your 93-year-old mother's not going to be around much longer, so don't worry about it.
You've already waited this long.
Oh, that's rough.
That was kind of harsh, Tom. And why is it $225 exactly to the penny? Like not $226, $225 and change. No, her expenses are $225 a month exactly. And you're gonna have to. At this point, if she would have just contacted the bank, she may have had the money back already. So I was like, this is good stuff. Wow. No, I figured my best strategy is to ghost them.
Yeah, of course.
Because they probably won't try to contact me again. I'm thinking, but we'll see. It's been, when was that? That was like a week ago. No.
How do they get your number and all that? And bank account?
Well, it's not bank account. It's Zelle.
Yeah, but it's going into your checking account, right?
It goes into because Zelle has an agreement with my bank, so you can use their services through my bank. So if I have it set up through there with my phone number. That's how they do. That's like Apple Pay. It's via your phone number because you're usually sending it, via a phone. That's kind of how they verify you.
Why did you ever set that up?
I don't know if because I think I already set up. I just recently used it for the first time, which may be the whole.
Oh, that's the trigger, maybe.
Maybe a trigger that is now, maybe using it the first time was the setup, setting up. And now I'm in their system. So, or it's just a random phone numbers.
No,
you could do it with computers. No, like set up a thing and just start running, seeing which numbers will take a Zelle payment. I don't know.
Huh.
But interesting.
I'm just on my bank account right here. I know they had something set up for like that type of electronic payment, but I can't see it anymore.
Yeah, so beware. Someone tries to get you free money, just keep it.
Yeah, don't
eventually,
return it.
If it's not yours, it'll come out of your. They'll take it out of your account, and they'll make it. If it's an actual mistake, I'm sorry, but no. Then you make it right with Zelle, and they'll fix it. And if not, I get $225. Thinking there's a guitar pedal I could probably buy with that, or two.
Yeah,
it's like free money. Hey, let's buy that guitar pedal I'm never going to use.
They'll cancel it.
Yeah, they will. I know.
It's a little bit too much to just let go.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They'll eventually pull it back, but I think it's great. I think they get a lot of people with that.
Oh, I bet you they do.
A 93-year-old mother.
Yeah, it's a newer. Well, I don't even know about that. It's just a newer scam. People don't realize that they can cancel the payment after you return the money.
Mm-hmm. I was proud of my wife. She was very conspiratorial right off the bat. She's like, "Oh, well, there's something going on here."
That's good. The people
I was like,
the people that got to be like that are the ones that are just past our age.
Oh yeah,
because they don't understand what. And oh yeah, I do. Our bank does offer Zelle. Zeal or Zelle?
Yeah, Zelle. Yeah, some people call it Zellies. I call it Zelle. I don't know. Zeal, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's be warned, people. Be warned. Don't, be a cold-hearted prick and don't fall into their heartstrings that they're trying to pull on you. That's what I told my wife. I said, yeah, they picked the wrong person here because I don't really care about your 90-year-old grandmother. I care about missing $225. Yeah, interesting. So, anywho, well, this week, man. So this week we decided we were going to talk about some gubernatorial stuff and bouncing a couple ideas around. We decided that this episode of the show, we're going to talk. How about Amy Acton? And basically her tie-in with COVID, because I think both candidates have some explaining to do with their COVID pandemic, what their role was in the COVID pandemic. And I guess this week, like I said, we'll start with Amy. And yes, wait.
I'm just getting ready for the clown stuff.
Okay, yeah. Wait. I mean, let me warm this one up too.
What?
I figured since with the interview of Robert F. Kennedy on the Dana Bash show, I heard that. I mean, I'm sure you heard it, right?
Yeah.
Where he's, going off and they're going back and forth. And man, was she upset that he would question her integrity as a journalist. I mean, her face, excuse me, like it was joyful. I
gotta say that it's incredible that she's so unaware.
Yes.
Like these people are in such a loop, circle of circle jerk going on with each other that they're completely unaware of how people feel about them.
Yes, they are in a huge bubble of enormous proportions. So I figured, and then I saw another clip. I figured these two need to come together. So I put them together. It was my favorite line in the interview with Kennedy, with Dana. And so I figured I'd put these two together because you'll see how they match perfectly.
Let me ask you something. Do you see your job as ending vaccine hesitancy, or do you see your job as telling the truth to the American people?
I see my job as telling the truth. And the truth is that there is study after study after study. It's one of the most studied things out there in science.
You're repeating and it like a parrot. You're repeating it like a parrot.
Trust the experts. Trust the experts. Trust the science. Trust the science. CDC. Dr. Fauci. Mask on, mask off. 2 shots, 1 shot. Dana? Mask on, 2 masks. Comply.
I literally saw those clips almost back to back on my X feed. I was like, holy cow, these are meant for each other. You're like a parrot, and then there's Jim Brewer going, mask on, mask off. I was dying. So I figured I'd put them together. We'll start the show off with something light, because
I don't know. That's not so light.
It's funny though.
It's funny.
And
Brewer's hilarious.
And when there's going to be brutal, people, because there's a whole lot of Amy Acton clips. I had to go through them, so you're going to have to listen to some of them, because trust me, there's way more than this I had to listen to and cut out. So bear with us. But I figure I didn't know where to start with this, so I figured let's do chronological. So let's kind of go chronological, and let's get people back in the mood. Let's get people back into, the times, and what we had on our TV all the time, and remembering back when Amy was saying, no, not yet. Not yet. Let's listen to some flashbacks from Amy at her pressers that she had. Let's get people back in the mood and get them really feeling it again.
Farhan Jaita with Delmer TV. Will the shutdown continue until effective vaccine is found?
So this is a rare disease in that we have no immunity as people, and there is no treatment yet. We know that the vaccine will take a year to a year and a half, but there are other promising treatments that could come along sooner and therefore change that trajectory. Sure? I do not believe what we need to do right now in the acuity of this situation. Acuity means this urgent, sudden onset and spread. What we do right now, which is absolutely what we must do, complete mitigation, non-pharmacologic interventions maximized. That will be a period of time, but then we will be working on the suppression stage and other strategies. So I cannot tell you an exact date of how long this will last. I can tell you that we'll be moving out of it as quickly as possible based on the science available. So we won't be living the way we are today and the way we're asking for you, please, Ohioans, to maximize the stop of spread by staying home. This is for a briefer period of time, and then we will walk you through the strategies, and we will walk out of this together in a different way, and all that will happen most likely before we'll ever have a vaccine.
Wait, really?
Thank you.
You sure about that? Here's. Ooh. That was rough. Okay, I'm back. Just trying to compose myself. Let's do one more real quick. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Come on, guys. Just rip the Band-Aid off. Now, this was one of her favorite lines, if you remember. Sorry, puked me. I almost puked a little bit in my mouth. Just looking at the title of the clip here. Let's remember one of her favorite lines that everybody just loves to this day.
Finally, I want to say that my team, alongside the entire government, this whole weekend with people from the private and public sector, have been working, as they have been for weeks, on what our next stage of this looks like. We know it's a long haul. It's very hard to say the truth that we are not going back. We are not flipping a switch and able to go back the way we came in. We have to be very, very careful as we move forward. But I want you to know teams worked entirely all weekend. I know the governor will be sharing, and Lieutenant Governor, more and more details about that. We've been working even today on calls with my peers. The governor was on calls with all the other governors. President Trump and the White House are working on this. How do we begin that step backwards to something that we can, in this period before we have a vaccine, really keep us all safe, but try to find our way back in some ways to normalcy? So I want to say one more thing.
Here we go.
These masks that we are wearing, and I saw them everywhere this weekend, everywhere I went. Ohio, don the mask, don your cape. These masks are actually now being viewed in the studies that are being done as yet another weapon to get back to normalcy. This is a culture change for us to do this, but it's actually acting very much like the other social distancing actions we took. This is like another layer, for those of you who've been following all along, another layer of Swiss cheese, not doing mass gatherings so we don't spread the disease. Our closing of schools, a very, very hard policy decision.
Wait, can I point out Swiss cheese has holes in it?
By the way, this is how she felt.
Just to be a human being here, I've had this feeling in my gut of like, I'm holding Ohio in my arms and I'm like single-handedly like, be gone virus, stay out.
Be gone virus.
I'm holding Ohio and saving them.
Literally making me gag. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see if we can get through the rest of this.
We are going to be looking at a year of using these in new ways. So keep making them. Go on our website to learn how to do them safely and wear them safely. This is something we are all going to get used to. But I know even our businesses, our top businesses around Ohio, know that making workplace the safe place will be different. It will be taking into account all these things we do. And these masks in every Ohioan, no matter who they are, having access to them is going to be important.
Oh gosh, is everybody feeling it now? Has everybody got the picture where we were at this time in early 2020? I think we're in March, maybe now.
That might be a little after
March, April,
because we didn't get hit here until mid-March.
Yeah, so yeah, and then she does say in some of these articles we're reading that by March, like February, March, she knew it was coming here. She knew she had a crystal ball, but maybe it's April, May. It might be April, May.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is a little later because I kind of like the first bit of this. I was kind of like, well, okay, let's all be careful. Mm-hmm. But the whole mask thing didn't really happen until later because we couldn't get any masks. First of all, they were telling us not to wear masks,
right?
Because they couldn't. They supposedly they didn't want the hospitals running out of masks.
And that was the interesting thing for me. One of the first clues was, the White House, the Trump administration was saying, this is a China virus. It's come from China. We got to shut down travel to China. And the Democrats were doing what? Do you remember?
They were saying, no, it's not from China.
He's racist.
Let's celebrate.
Yes.
Yeah, that's because it started happening around the New Year's, right? Because wasn't there like a big party February. In New York, and they were like, no, we gotta move on, and
they were talking about it. Here's how I remember: we were in Arizona for spring training for the Indians, and on the way back, things were starting to shut down. So that was late February, early March. And like a week after that, like all the planes shut down or something. It was like we just got it back in time where it probably would have been an issue. We may have to drove home if we would have waited another week or had delayed our trip. But so it was like late February, early March is when everything just started shutting down.
Right, but weren't the Democrats trying to keep some type of celebrations where a lot of people get together and. Like later on, they were calling those super spreaders. Like, if you don't wear a mask, this is a super spreader. But if you protest, you're fine.
I remember Nancy Pelosi going to Chinatown in San Francisco and like hug a Chinaman or something like, or hug a Chinese person.
Xenophobic if you call it a China virus.
Yes, I argue with people at work. Why is he gonna call it the China virus? I'm like, because it came from China. Oh, we don't know that. Yes, we pretty much do. What we don't know is
Fauci knew it the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. China knew it the whole time because China was saying this isn't our virus. This is an American virus. And even me, I was like, what are they talking about?
Well, kind of. We funded it, right?
Yeah, I think that's what they meant. Like, this is from one of your labs.
Yeah.
Yeah, full of your people who, at best case scenario, screwed up unless,
The wet market accelerated it, but it came from.
Well, yeah, a guy's sick and went to the wet market and spread it to everybody because of those places, but, maybe that was it. Hey, get the guy sick and send him to the wet market. We can blame the bats at the wet market. Most likely it was incompetence, but there's some theories out there that say it was China released it to get rid of the older population, and it got out of hand and all this other stuff. But
no, I think it was just incompetence and things that we probably shouldn't have been doing.
Don your mask, Tom. Don your mask. Where does that come from? Don your what? It's a very strange. What's this? What does it mean to don? Does it mean to put something on?
Hang on. Now I got to Google this.
Oh, okay. And so she's currently. I don't know. I don't want to say she's trying to walk the line. She's trying to walk the tightrope between being a hero to the left during COVID and not being a villain to the right. And in some of her speeches, she's kind of steering away from it a little bit. She's not steering away from it, but she is, I don't know. She seems to dance around the issue a lot of times. And I think that's because she knows she needs to move to the center, or, get more moderates and all the other stuff, Republicans in order to win. And, most of the time for her campaign stuff, it seems like she's really trying to, I don't know, basically not really talk about it to some extent.
Well, she can't talk about it.
Yeah. So but it's part of why the Democrats like her, because there's a lot of people that are like, she's a hero.
Well, maybe. I guess if you get the weirdo people with purple hair streaks.
Yeah, I think.
I haven't heard anybody say that.
Say that what?
She's a hero.
Oh. Well, the media is definitely saying it. The media is definitely trying to portray her as
propaganda.
Sure. Yeah. But I think there's a very large percentage of the maskers out there, or the people who are still afraid and believe COVID was, what we originally thought it was, that are all about Amy Acton.
Yeah. I haven't heard any pro Amy Acton stuff, so I don't know. Even from family members that have purple streaks in their hair and are retarded.
Well, that's kind of her demographic. So shocking. Yeah. Because there's I do have an article here, a couple articles, but one is, this one's from recent. The long shadow of COVID-19 does go. This is CBS News, so it's sort of a national outlet, but they kind of go through this whole dynamic there is on the Ohio race, and she's trying to be the first Democrat in 20 years to win the office, but she got a formidable obstacle, maybe a ghost from her recent past, COVID-19. They do say in here, and this one I'm pretty sure is this one, how they call, some call her, or, she's proud of the work that she did, and that somewhere in here, man, I should have pulled the quote, but hero to some, villain to others. At Democratic events, Amy carries the air of the cult hero. Back in 2020, inspired by Dr. Amy Acton fan club, with its own yard signs, a bobblehead doll, and a proposal to honor her with a state holiday.
Yeah, they ordered 100 bobblehead dolls and they have 99 left.
Yeah, because one broke. Campaigning this year, she seems to tread cautiously when discussing her time as Ohio's health chief, sometimes avoiding use of the word COVID-19 or coronavirus. And what they're trying to portray her as is, well, it wasn't her. It was DeWine. And first I say, no, it was both of them and more. But just, we're going to hang, I'd hang Amy right next to, metaphorically, of course, right next to DeWine. I don't care. You think, because it's a Republican, I'm going to go, well, in that case. No, he sucks too.
Who are you talking about?
DeWine. That's what
DeWine,
the campaign and the supporters of Amy are saying, well, it was your Republican governor, DeWine. I go, yeah, he's not my governor, so screw you. He's not, the only Ohio governor to have his own party revoke his emergency act. The only time it's ever been done in Ohio history was when was the Republican legislature shutting down the mandates that DeWine had.
Yeah, that's what happens when you don't have another choice.
Yes.
I mean, we're almost in the same freaking position now. I don't think Vivek's going to be any better, but
I don't know if he's going to be as much of a rhino as DeWine, but there we go again.
A different type of
different kind of rhino. But we'll get into Ramaswamy on the next episode.
Yeah. No, I was just I'm like trying to think when we actually had. It was when I wasn't paying attention to any type of politics. When was the last time we had a good governor? Kasich was the same thing as DeWine.
Kasich was actually DeWine was an improvement. DeWine was an improvement.
You think so? Yeah, maybe
in some ways. So I mean, some of the stuff that we're doing now with the Medicare and lack of transparency is from, or some of these Medicare programs that were expanded and something to that effect were under Kasich.
Oh, was it under? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, not that it got, the Republicans didn't turn it off either or revoke it or anything. So anyway, let's go. So that was 2020. Let's hear Amy 2 years later. Let me see what my notes tell me I should be talking about here. Hold on a second here. Yeah, so I think this is 2022. Yes. So it's St. Patrick's Day of 2022. And first, we're going to play What Does She Say Here? Because I don't quite understand what she's talking about here. But she goes into, this is like, first time we could all get to go out. I'm like, 2022? No, I was going out in crowds all through late 2020 and 2021. So I don't know what you're talking about. But this is, according to them, the first time people can really get out. It's so scary. But here's, this is Tracy Townsend from WBSN channel, WBNS channel 10 TV in 2022. 2 years. This is St. Patrick's Day of 2022.
Dr. Acton, let's start with the fact that today's St. Patrick's Day, and it's the first time people can be out in public in just about 2 years. So how symbolic is this milestone in terms of how far we've come in the pandemic?
All right. What did she say here?
It's funny. St. Patrick's Day really stays with me in the pandemic language because it was a mile marker. If we remember talking about St. Louis or Philadelphia and what city you wanted to be, there was a very famous St. Patrick's Day parade. One city didn't have one and one did. So St. Patrick's Day, not only was it March of 2020, and I remember the governor saying, I can't go to my favorite restaurant and get food, so I'm going to get carry out. It really stayed with me. To me, it's the emergence, emerging. We are, I've been telling people we're not 100% out of the woods. But we all, I think, feel after these long 2 years, this coming back out. And something I'm focused on is that we feel the joy of it, but we don't want to leave anyone behind. We're all coming out in different ways at different times. And my hope is that we have a little grace and mercy with one another. When we see people struggling, we never know if someone has someone at home sick with an, immunologic disease, so we're all going to be sort of inching our way out. But I do hope people feel the joy of one another. It's to be here live is a joy.
For the love of God, I'm going to slit my wrists.
Suicide Hotline. Go check it out because it's serious. And we're going to pause the show while Tom gets therapy. What did she say there about? I think it was like Oktoberfest. This is St. Patrick's Day. Obviously not in October, but so March. So a couple of years after the last presser, we heard her talk about after she quit, and what I don't know what she said there. She said there was a time when we decided between one city St. Louis and Minnesota, and then one had a parade and one didn't. And then all of a sudden, the mayor's complaining he can't get his food from his diner or favorite. I'm like, what? I don't even know. Did Kamala get in your head? Because that sounds kind of like Kamala Harris a little bit.
I have been listening to Amy for 6 years, and I still haven't figured out what she's saying.
It was a Kamala Harris moment for sure. She has many of those, especially early on. We're like, what is she even? She's just saying words because she has no answer to the question. She has no. All right, let's go with the same interview.
No, don't do this.
I'm doing it because I had to go through these and cut there's 5 times more that I had to listen to. So we got a couple
of pens that are going to be jabbed in my.
We got a couple more. This is part of the strategy to remind people of who is possibly could be, at least has a chance to be our governor. Okay, and I'm sorry, it's good for everybody. This is tough love, but so the same interview, and I thought I pulled this one out because it was interesting when she's asked. She says, "All these problems we had to solve all these problems quickly." Something to that effect, and so there's some journalism in the room. So she says, the woman, Tracy Townsend says, "What are those? Give me an example of one of those things that you problems that you solved really quickly, or something." You'll see. And then I'm thinking, this is the best you can come up with.
Things that we ought to solve together. And it isn't government alone ever. It is business and government and academia and nonprofits coming together to solve problems.
Also interesting, the people that she just combined there. Nothing about the people coming together. It's about the government, NGOs, businesses. Kind of how we have it now. So now she asks her, well, like an example of what?
We did some of that in the pandemic. We had to solve things on short notice that were amazing that we did.
Amazing.
What would you say as an example?
What's amazing that you did?
One example very early on in the pandemic, first of all, is we were pitted against each other for PPE. It was like a Hunger Games. And we realized all of a sudden that every hospital was outbidding every hospital in Ohio, and people were stealing boats out of port. And we figured out a new way to all talk to each other. We had to figure out, how do we get a ventilator from a veterinary practice to the Cleveland Clinic to make sure we have enough. And so what I found was a lot of people who didn't talk to each other in normal day-to-day, hospital CEO talking to a prison warden, a nursing home leader, a school superintendent, we all began to gather in regions around the state. We called them zones, and we created a new structure out of nowhere. And I can tell you that all the people who grew to know each other through that crisis, they don't want to stop talking.
Wow.
We were just, I was just on a call, a Zoom with Cleveland's leadership team, and Cleveland came together in ways to solve things. And that same ingenuity is going to help solve lead poisoning in Cleveland.
Yeah, sure it will. Guess what? It still hasn't. It's been 4 years and they still haven't fixed it. So her great, amazing achievement, the first thing that comes to her head. So you think in that situation, if you're in that situation, she is, maybe not as polished as she is now. And so somebody maybe catches you slightly off guard. Maybe you're not thinking this person's going to ask you for an example. And then you have to pull an example up right there. And you're going to think of like the biggest thing that you can think of. So they picked up the phone. That's what they did. They were like, how do we get these two people to talk? Oh, well, we called them. We picked up the phone. We sent, oh my gosh, that's amazing, Amy.
Revolutionary.
You were great. This problem solving is amazing. Ridiculous. I was like, that's it? You exchanged phone numbers.
To be fair, she figured out how to take veterinary ventilators into human hospitals.
Yeah. They found a van or a truck, and they backed it up to one place and then drove it to the other one and then dumped it off there. Oh yeah, those ventilators that were killing people too.
Yeah, I was going to say, you would think you would avoid saying that because
this is 2 years after.
Yeah, exactly.
And we knew this early on. Early on, they stopped ventilating. Like before the end of 2020, they stopped ventilating people.
Yeah. Probably before I would say even before winter of 2020.
Yeah.
or whatever you want to call it, fall. It was done pretty quick.
So here's
remember
Amy.
Ford made all those ventilators that
yes,
were never used?
We had some part of our company that was switching over some production to make a part of a shield, face shield. Like, I don't know, they did some molds and blah, blah, I don't know. And I was like, oh, okay. So, but that was very early on. And after I don't know if they even sold any of them.
Nah.
But because it happened so fast and they were moving on different things. But, and so now there's this article in here also from 2024 from Ohio Today. It's ohio.edu. And this is her basically in 2024. Check it out. I would. Dr. Amy Acton shares insight from early pandemic with medical students. So she's speaking. She has a lot of the same quotes that are in this article. You know, probably a similar speech that she kind of goes out and gives on this next clip. But I don't know if you knew this, Tom. But Dr. Amy Acton was giving advice to the president at the time.
What?
Oh, yeah. Listen, here, I'll check it out. This is...
So wait, which president?
Trump.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, this is serious advice. And I mean, I'm sure Trump really took it to heart. But this is News Channel 3. And this is 3 years ago. This news article or news interview about Amy. So now she's out on the field or in the field. She's out in public. She's doing speaking. She's starting to build her campaign is what she's doing. And now she's out doing public speaking, talking in front of medical students and medical places. And so this is kind of a news report about that from, I think, 2023.
This is after she quit, right?
Oh, yeah. So we're going chronological. So last one was 2022. That was the first time, one of the very first interviews she did.
After quitting.
Right. So she quit in 2020. Pretty sure.
Here, I can only take so much.
Yes. So, so this is 2023, and so they go over like, whoa, she's going out and she's talking and revisiting what the COVID-19 pandemic and stuff. So we'll see what the advice is.
She's an ordinary person who found herself part of an extraordinary history. True. Just before she arrived in Cleveland with Governor DeWine in February 2020, she found herself at the White House giving advice to the president.
Would you please tell the president that this is the higher angels moment? This is the FDR, Winston Churchill time.
She gave him advice or gave him a message from DeWine? That's what it was. He told her to tell him this. And this is she found herself giving advice to the president of the United States. No way, Jose, that Trump took anything. I mean,
well,
he zoned out about 3 words into that.
Yeah, whatever.
So let's continue. It's not that long.
Followed the government's pandemic playbook, expecting her government would too.
I was able to get on the phone with the people who wrote the original playbook because we weren't getting that information from the government. Like everyone else, I just wanted the truth. Once we told the truth, the best people in the world started coming to us.
What does that mean?
And that helped Ohio lead.
She handled the...
So they weren't getting the truth from the government. She means the Trump administration. But once we started telling the truth, all the greatest people in the world started to come and help Ohio. What is that? For some reason that sticks out in my head. And I'm thinking, when she says truth, it's the truth that she knew of at the time. So that the coronavirus was not man-made. It didn't leak out of it didn't come from a lab. It came from a wet market across the street from the lab. And so on and so forth. All the stuff that we know now that was complete and utter BS. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's finish it.
The daily press conferences unscripted.
When I do everything right in public health, when I knock it out of the park, you don't see it. I prevent the bad things from happening.
Prevents it.
And it's the silent victories that we have in public health that are actually, where we get our complacency from. We forget that these infectious diseases aren't going away.
Decisions she made weren't easy, and for some, she became the enemy instead of the virus.
And not all heroes wear capes. And of course, that was the truth. There was no one who didn't experience what I experienced, including the harassment and the violence.
Stepping down was the hardest decision, but she wouldn't stay at the cost of her integrity. More than 2 years later, she sees the good.
The good news is we're moving that manufacturing back. This is a great time for the state of Ohio.
Monica Robbins, 3 News.
So, what park is she playing in that she knocked it out of?
Little League. With no fence. So just get in the grass and it's a home run. So they mentioned, her and the pressure she was on. And so in this article from Ohio EDU, which I mean, it's Ohio EDU. So what do you expect? But unafraid but determined is part of this article. Her husband, who was a school teacher and coach, told her, "You're not afraid, you're determined." She said those same words to the public during a news briefing. Courage, she said, comes from facing fear. And in 2020, Amy Acton had more than COVID to be concerned about, as militia groups began plotting to harm her and others, and protesters camped out of her home and stalked her children, requiring constant protective surveillance. Did that happen?
No.
Did militia groups begin plotting her harm? I did a quick search and I didn't see very much at all.
I think there were protesters.
Oh, they were protesters outside her house. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting. And then she goes on, we don't live in ideologies and politics. We live in communities. I'm like, I'm sorry, Amy, you're wrong. Unfortunately, we do live in ideology and politics. That's part of the problems with our world today is everything's politics. So that was, so why did she quit? Well, we always talk about why she quit. And we always talk about because of the pressure. But is that why she quit? Because according to Amy, it's something different. So let's hear this from NBC4, I think it's out of Columbus, where a year ago they did an interview with her. And the Republican Party is taking advantage of a part of that interview, as you'll explain in this couple-minute clip here.
It is political campaign season, but it is also county fair season in Ohio, and this year the two are going to overlap. Visitors to all 88 county fairs in Ohio this summer are going to see a life-size cutout of Democrat gubernatorial candidate Amy Acton.
It's the creation of the Ohio Republican Party as they continue to try to tie the former health director to COVID pandemic shutdowns back in 2020. And this time it's also tied to an interview with our Colleen Marshall, who joins us now. Colleen?
Well, Amy Acton sat down with us in January of 2025 for her first interview as a gubernatorial candidate. One of the things I talked to her about was her decision to step down as health director. And her response to that question will be making the rounds to all of the county fairs. This cutout made its debut at the Paulding County Fair in Western Ohio. Life-size Amy Acton with a quote about the final straw being an order to open the fairs. A quote sure to get the attention of thousands of people who pour into the popular fairs year in and year out. You can hear the comment for yourself. I asked about her resignation as health director, and she blamed it on pressure to sign off on orders that she deemed dangerous.
Orders that were coming from the legislature, from lobbyists, and particularly Larry Householder, that frankly would have killed people, that would have hurt people.
What orders did they want you to sign?
There was a real pressure on the governor and on me to sign orders, and this one order in particular was the final straw for me. It was to open the fairs. We were just, if you remember, beginning to open businesses and finally stabilizing our hospitals, and it was pressure for fairs.
An order was eventually signed that summer, by the governor, who allowed 4-H and livestock exhibits at county fairs, but refused to allow rides and midway games that he believed would put too many people at risk.
The ring toss is death.
The GOP is determined to remind fairgoers in all 88 Ohio counties that Amy Acton was opposed to opening fairs for business. Their cutout can be seen at a fair near you. But the Acton campaign says it does not mind the reminder, and in a statement told me, in part, Dr. Acton is proud of the work she did with Governor DeWine to put public health over politics to keep Ohioans safe. Meanwhile, Vivek Ramaswamy made billions on the COVID-19 vaccine and wanted to segregate Ohioans based on their immunity status with a national biomarker registry.
Teaser next
So
week.
Republicans say Acton got COVID response all wrong. Democrats say she and Governor DeWine did what was right to keep Ohioans as safe as possible. So the question coming out of all of this is, will voters make decisions in the ballot box this November based on the handling of the COVID crisis 6 years ago?
It's almost like we're being steered in that direction. Make the election about COVID.
You think so?
It feels like it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it seems like it's,
that's like about the worst thing. I mean, are the Republicans steering it that way?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but that's what I feel. That's what it feels like, that we're kind of being steered into this narrative of, comparing COVID responses or whatnot. Definitely in Ohio, it feels that way for me. Nationwide, it seems like all of a sudden, and a lot of it's the Fauci. Fauci being put in front of Congress now. Is that coincidence? I don't know. Might be.
No, I think
not a big fan of coincidences, but
I don't think that's a coincidence.
But yeah, so now you're ramping up to the midterms and into all these gubernatorial races. So bring COVID up because it's a good wedge issue. Good,
Yeah, it's not a winning one. If you're on the pro masking and closing side, obviously.
Yeah, I think this is a GOP kind of thing.
You think it's being pushed by GOP kind of like on the, like with, I don't know, just propaganda.
Yeah, like the last election they pushed, it was all trans. I mean, rightfully so. I'm not trying to but it was
I thought this year
trans.
It was going to be about getting the people out to vote to get the ID mandated or in the Constitution for voting.
That'd be one strategy, but why only have one? I don't know. It just feels like all of a sudden COVID is everywhere. And like I said, a lot of it's the Fauci thing, but then I think, oh, well, that was timed perfectly to roll this into November.
I don't think Rand Paul timed it like that. I think it just, maybe, you know what? I don't know. I am not on the inside of this. I do not know.
But it's interesting to remember, or I didn't, like I said, we've always talked about her folding under the pressure. But maybe it's worse than that. According to her, the reason she quit was because they wanted to open up the fairs, and she was like, "No, it's going to kill people." The ring toss.
Well, she has to have an excuse. She can't say she folded under the pressure. I think she folded under the pressure. You can't say that. She can't say that. So what's the best option for her is to say, yes, I'll stand my ground. I will not sign these.
Yes, very good point.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no other way to sugarcoat what she did. Besides saying, I just stood my ground. I would not pass these, get opened up again, basically, because I wanted to save people's lives.
Did the protests interrupt drinking time? Well, did it interrupt her ability to go to a bar and have a drink? Is that what the problem was?
Well, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, but the summer of love, man, nobody was saying anything about staying home and not protesting. 2020.
No.
She wasn't.
No. And remember, she talks about on and on about, well, we've got to, everybody has their own things and they have to deal with things their own way, and we have to be gracious. And then she talks early on about treatment, and we could find some treatments. And if we find some treatments, maybe we can come out of this a little earlier. But I'm like, okay, there was. Do you remember these people?
Thank you so much, Congressman. So we're here because we feel as though the American people have not heard from all the expertise that's out there all across our country. We do have some experts speaking, but there's lots and lots of experts across the country. So some of us decided to get together. We're America's frontline doctors. We're here only to help American patients and the American nation heal. We have a lot of information to share. Americans are riveted and captured by fear at the moment. We are not held down by the virus as much as we're being held down by the spider web of fear. That spider web is all around us, and it's constricting us, and it's draining the lifeblood of the American people, American society, and American economy. This does not make sense. COVID-19 is a virus that exists in essentially two phases. There's the early phase disease and there's the late phase disease. In the early phase, either before you get the virus or early when you've gotten the virus, if you've gotten the virus, there's treatment. That's what we're here to tell you. Really? We're going to talk about that this afternoon. You can find it on America's Frontline Doctors. There's many other sites that are streaming it live on Facebook.
And they were shut down. Banned.
Well, I remember that. That's all those doctors that were like in Washington, D.C.
Yep, they're in front of the Capitol.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I remember that because the only place you could see them talking was on, at the time, I think it was still Twitter, right?
Yes. Facebook took them down, I think, first or something like that.
Yeah. And they would, I don't remember Twitter taking them down, but I don't remember a single news outlet playing that.
Covering it, yeah. And it was a 45-minute news conference with a whole bunch of doctors going up and not back and forth, telling the press, whoever was in front of them at the time, I don't know if it was even any of the mainstream or not, but their experience with treating COVID with drugs like ivermectin. That's when they were starting to deal with that. And the horse dewormer, you still get that today on X and the places. Oh, you go have some horse dewormer. You do realize how much interaction or how much exchanging of medicine happens between veterinarian and human medicine, right?
Yeah,
a lot of times it's the exact same thing. I have allergy pills for my freaking dog. They're the same exact ones I would get.
Yeah. So, well, no, that was disingenuous by the news.
And they're still doing it. People still, so these.
Well, people are, I haven't heard the news do that because they can't anymore.
Not lately,
But I do hear people saying that still because they're retarded and they probably have a purple streak in their hair.
So I'm sorry, but because of people like Amy, I'm going to try to wrap this up, but because of people like Amy, who were fear, regardless if she meant to do it or wanted to do it, she's conniving. I don't know about any of all that.
I don't think so.
But to try to separate her from, like the news clip said, the Republicans are trying to tie. No, remember that. So they have a life-size cutout of Amy that you can stand next to and take a picture of all the fairs this year with her quotes, about I quit because my integrity. And then there's a little comments in because of she wanted to open the fairs up, didn't want them to open the fairs up. But to try to separate her and say that she is not, like she has no responsibility in all this stuff is BS, because it shows. I mean, she was advising them. Do you think DeWine was going to go against his state health director? No, they were both making these decisions. And also, I'd like to see, while we're pointing at Amy, who else was making these decisions besides Amy and DeWine? Who? It's like, I think I'll probably listen to No Agenda. Why is it only Fauci in front of Congress? Where's the rest of them? There's a whole bunch of people under Fauci that should be in front of Congress too. And it clearly says, I mean, she was advising. She says, so she explains, this is when she was at Case, talking to Case, she explained to her students that another critical trait of leadership is vulnerability. Is it? I mean, I guess.
I kind of remember, I'm going back to those doctors, that group of doctors saying there's other treatments. And I remember they couldn't say there were other treatments back then. And even until
without getting taken off social media.
Well, no, yes, but I guess what I'm trying to say is they had the emergency status for getting the vaccine out, and if there was another treatment, you can't push that vaccine out because of the emergency status.
Yes.
So there was a lot of things in motion at that point, and I don't know who to really blame there, except for I got to go to the money.
Yes, follow the money, and and basically, you can't have an emergency authorization for a drug if there's another treatment for that same disease.
Exactly. So
that's why they had to censor anything other than a vaccine.
Right.
Yeah.
But was Amy smart enough to know that? I doubt it.
No, at the time, I'm not sure. Yeah, but as a doctor, somebody who wants to help people, wouldn't you look at every option? We never even talked about that in Ohio, did we? Did anyone ever? Did she ever address it? Did they ever try it? Did they ever look at it? Did they ever test it?
Well, if you said it, you weren't going to be on TV. Because I think that goes to the fact of big pharma being able to advertise. If 60% of your advertising money comes from big pharma, you can't really say anything against. Really, you're going to push ivermectin? That's probably like 10 cents a pill to compared to thousands of dollars.
They've been taken for a couple decades with very little side effects. Yeah, remember, it's almost like if it were a movie. Oh, wait, no, I got a clip. Remember Woody in front of Saturday Night Live? Here, check it out. Remember this? He's like, if I ever got this script, it's too crazy to even think that this would happen.
So the movie goes like this. The biggest drug cartels in the world get together and buy up all the media and all the politicians and force all the people in the world to stay locked in their homes. And people can only come out if they take the cartel's drugs and keep taking them over and over.
Silence.
I threw the script away. I mean, who is going to believe that crazy idea?
This was early on. I don't know what year this was. This is very early on.
Yeah, I remember that.
He got a lot of heat. I mean, you hear the crowd. Saturday Night Live. This is the opening monologue of Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah.
Complete silence because nobody either nobody thought it was funny or was too scared to laugh. There's like 4 people that laughed.
It's kind of funny. I haven't heard from him since then.
Yeah, it's weird, huh? So as they tried to tell you that Amy is nuts, she had nothing to do with COVID. It was all DeWine, and DeWine's even saying it was all me. Huh? Interesting, DeWine. She says in this article, like I said, she explains to her students another critical trait of leadership is vulnerability. For some reason I have to read it that way. She said she felt the extreme responsibility of her role, which included advising Governor Mike DeWine as tough decisions such as closing schools and major events were made to slow down the spread of the virus and prevent more people from dying. So, sorry, you got to take responsibility with you. Sorry. That's all a bunch of Dr. Pepper campaign is lying to you. And I think, I don't know. That's all I got, I think. That's all I got. Oh, wait, you could have one more Amy montage if you want. No? What do you think?
Go ahead.
Okay. One more Amy. I mean, I wasn't sure. I thought maybe it would push you over the edge. And I don't know if you've called that hotline yet, but one more Amy.
If you're at a beach, you can make a giant circle out of the sand, the same way you make sandcastles, and you can make it big enough for your family, and there can be ones for other families. You're heroic when you stay at home and watch your neighbor who's a nurse's child. Every time you go out to go get medicine. You want to minimize even that.
I'm holding Ohio in my arms and I'm like single-handedly like, be gone, virus.
Climbing mountains takes an incredible amount of teamwork. It takes having Sherpas and they don your cape and don your mask.
One last reminder of everybody. Did we get all of it, Tom?
I think so. This show didn't go exactly where I thought it was going to go. But yeah.
Okay. Well, where did you think it was going to go?
Well, I thought we were going to hit this stuff, but then I thought we were going to talk about her campaign a little bit more. But I guess we can do that because we are going to talk about Vivek's past, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then we should probably do a show before the election of comparing them to for their policies.
Concerning all the COVID talk and the Fauci, and then
I
figured for me, both of these, there's we're going to look at Vivek next week most likely, unless something crazy happens. But they both have some explaining to do. It's kind of why I started the show off with. One maybe more than the other. We'll find that out. But I mean, I think definitely Amy does because I mean, she was literally making decisions and advising the government.
She was in the public eye.
Yeah. And we figured with all this, we'll just go over it because it is a campaign issue. It's one of the bigger ones in Ohio. So at least, I don't know. For me, I can't believe anybody. I just can't believe anybody would vote for her. But
well, if you have purple hair and you're an old woman that would vote for a glass of water with a D on it, you will vote for her.
What?
Or that. Or
yeah,
that.
You know, this is Ohio should be ashamed of what they're offering. Not Ohio, but
what, do you remember? Let me remind you, Tom.
Like the greatest thing we had in Ohio.
Amy Acton. She's like the greatest thing we had in Ohio.
As somebody's handing him like $20 to go.
Exactly. Oh, Amy Acton. Yeah, she's the greatest thing that happened in Ohio. Can I go buy some more booze, please? I gotta buy some cigarettes and some beer. I think it was a homeless guy in the street.
There's her, and we'll talk about it next week, I guess. But Vivek's is not. I'm not impressed by him.
Nope.
I'm impressed by his ability to speak. He's a good orator, I guess you could say.
Yeah, he's a very smart guy.
Yeah,
and very articulate. But that's also one of the things that I don't like.
That's the sleaze part, right?
Yeah,
kind of.
Not that he is necessarily, but it just comes off like Mandami we've talked about before from New York. They sound very similar.
It's just like that guy that won in where did he win? The Zaid guy.
Was that Michigan?
Yeah, Michigan. The won the primary, right?
Yes.
And he's kind of a smooth, sleazeball type of thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Newsom also.
Yeah, true. Wow, look at that. Okay, we just compiled the Republican candidate with all these socialist Democrats. That's pretty good.
Well, he is one because there's most Republicans that Crenshaw's a little bit. I'm trying to think of Republicans that kind of have that used car salesman feel, and there's enough of them. I just can't think of any right now. Besides Vivek.
Yeah, I thought you were going no drugs, and my first thing I said DeWine, but he's definitely not a car salesman. He's just
no, he's a Elmer Fudd. I mean, really, that guy. That guy's got like almost no charisma. I have no idea how he ever got into politics. It's astonishing.
Yes, it isn't. It isn't no like yes.
I hear him talking. I'm just like, oh my God, how can you, like, I don't see how he could hold any type of office in the corporate world or in politics.
Well, if you have a choice of one of two people, that's how it happens.
Yes.
That's how it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason he's not in the corporate world is because he's not up against one other person. He's up against a dozen other people, and they're never going to pick him.
Right.
So that's why he's a politician.
Never really held a job.
I don't know.
I don't know anything about his history. So.
I don't know. he a doctor? I don't know. Lawyer? Who knows? He's freaking.
What?
No, that's this one. So we got them both right there. So anyway, enough of rambling. I think we can wrap this thing up today. And didn't mention once in the whole show, Tom.
What's that?
Somebody need to be spanked.
I'm not doing that.
No, definitely not. Crookedrivercast.com. Check out the blog. Check out the blog Mondays when the show drops. crookedrivercast@gmail.com. Send us email about your favorite Amy Acton story. No, actually don't. I mean, I guess if you have to, but I think I had enough Amy Acton for a couple months. And
when are we going to hit that? Probably about a month before the election?
Probably. After I take a few weeks off. Amy.
There's plenty of things to hit. We got to talk about Max Miller too.
Oh, that's it was.
There's a few things we need to talk about. I felt like we needed to talk about that this week, but we'll wait for it to settle. Kind of, I want to let the dust settle, I guess.
Yeah, it's a messy divorce, so we're not sure who to believe on that one.
Believe all women.
I believe all women lie. Yes, I do. At some point in their life, they do, just like men. Anywho, on that note, yes, we'll keep track of Max Miller and see if there's anything becomes of it. But it is kind of sticky, and we are following it on that. But again, sometimes you got to let these stories mature. Yeah, that's the ticket. Let them mature. But on that happy note, crookedrivercast.com. Send us an email, crookedrivercast@gmail.com. And we really appreciate you listening. Thank you. Share the show, please. Tell your friends. We really appreciate helping it grow. And on that happy note, we'll talk to you next week.
Peace.